Brian Westbrook spent 8 seasons in Philly. Brian, what do you make of Jeffrey Lurie backing Jalen Hurts this coming season?
Well, if your owner is going to step up and make comments in the offseason, I think these are the right comments to make. I mean, it's going to establish two things. One, you're going to establish that you have confidence in Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, and it's going to lead your organization in the direction that you're not going to be drafting a quarterback in the first round, at least in this year's upcoming draft. The other part, it's going to tell the organization, your fans, everyone, your supporters, that you learned your lesson from what happened last year. Last year, to 2020, you draft Jalen Hurts in the second round, and then there was that just led to so many different things. Your quarterback, Carson Wentz, your franchise guy, not being happy. Then he had a terrible season. Because of that terrible season, your head coach gets fired, and now you're kind of stuck with your second-round pick. So if you're Jeffrey Lurie, this is the right decision. If you're going to come out and say something, this was the right thing to say. And I'll tell you what, as an organization, now you can all get behind Jalen Hurts. There doesn't have to be any second guessing. There doesn't have to be, well, is this the guy or that guy? Is that the guy like they've had in the past? Now you're saying all of our chips are in the Jalen Hurts basket, and we're going to move forward with him as our guy. And now you just got to fill up that roster around him. I think it's a good comment if you're going to make comments as a team owner.
I rarely vehemently disagree with Brian, except for when it comes to the NFL power rankings where he was wrong all year. But on this one, I must disagree with Brian. First of all, if you want to be all in on Jalen Hurts, keep that to yourself until after the draft. Because it is in your best interest for a team like the Panthers, who are drafting 8, to think you might want a quarterback even if you don't. So maybe they feel like they have to move in front of you to draft a quarterback so you can then get a better non-quarterback available if that's what you want.
Smart.
Like, it is never in your interest to have other teams know your draft plans when you're drafting 6th overall and you might want a wheeler dealer, you might want someone else to move in front of you for a player they think you want. But more importantly than just the draft, I just think of the most successful teams across sports, and very rarely is the owner involved in personnel. Like, Robert Kraft, has he said a lot about the way the Patriots should be run, or does Belichick run that organization? When the Spurs were on their run, was Peter Holt doing a lot, or was it Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford? When you look, now we do know teams where the owner gets involved. Washington, been doing it forever. It's worked out miserably. Dallas, Jerry got involved a lot, very often. Hadn't worked out so well for him. Famously, he had the phone wrestled out of his hand when he wanted to draft Johnny Manziel. Like, it's just not very often that the owner being like, hey, guys, I'm in from Naples this week, and I want to tell you, that's our quarterback. All right, talk to you guys soon. See you on the draft. I just don't think it's the right way to run business. I think most teams don't do that. Brian, you think I'm wrong?
Well, Jeffrey's
Nick,
more
you're wrong,
involved,
because
right, Brian?
Jeffrey Lurie didn't say that he was now going to decide the personnel that you're going to put around Jalen Hurts. He's just saying this is the guy that we're going to go with. That wasn't, I mean, his hands were kind of tied. Carson didn't want to be there, and the head coach got fired. So he's not saying, hey, I need to decide the wide receiver, the offensive line. I'm just saying we're going to go with the guy that we drafted in the second round. And then when you talk about the draft, and I understand your point about as far as you're ruining the possibility of other teams potentially trading up. But what you are doing at the same time is providing team stability in the direction that you're going to go. So as an owner, you got to weigh those two things. Do I want to try to play the draft game of maybe teams will come up and try to get my pick? Or do I want to provide stability for my football team that now we have to find a way to win? To me, I want to provide stability for my football team.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Now your credibility is on the line here. Because you mean to tell me if Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields is sitting here on the board when you're picking at 6, you're not going to take them? You got the Jags at 1, you got the Jets at 2. So you can – Trevor Lawrence is gone. There's a debate between if it's going to be this kid, Justin Fields, or Zach Wilson. A lot of people say the Jets are going to go with Zach Wilson. So now he's gone. But now you still have quarterbacks that can come in and be the face of the franchise for 10 years. and they're sitting there, you're going to say, all right, I'm passing on that. So I'll believe it when I see it. And this has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. Look, Jalen Hurts came in and beat the Saints. The Saints was the hottest defense in football last year when they played, and he made them look silly. And then he followed that up against Arizona with 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. All right? So it's not about him, but it's about the business. So you mean to tell me if these quarterbacks is on the board, you're going to pass them by. So I'll believe it when I see it, Kevin.
So, Brian, do you think, and as you talk about Mac Jones, Brandon, do you think this is a message more to Jalen or the coaching staff or the other players? Because I don't think Jalen really needs this, unless I have him reading it wrong, because of his experience at Alabama. We saw here, like, Jalen, you're out, Tua's in. And he was nothing but supportive of Tua, and they were a great teammate. Even if they won, they were, like, congratulating each other. And then Tua's experience with Ryan Fitzpatrick, it's the same way. It's like, that's all right, we're a big team here. It's like Alabama. You're like me and Jalen. Like, we'll just support each other. So for me, and Jalen has said the right things the whole time, even when he got pulled out of the game, which was nonsense. And we all thought he just is the biggest sort of like behavioral frustration that he showed was just like shaking his head. So do you think this is for Jalen that he needs a little boost, or it's more for the guys around him or the coaching staff?
Well, the reason why it's not for the coaching staff, because you don't have a press conference to talk to your coaching staff. You just walk into the coach's office and say, as the owner, this is the way, the direction of this football team. So you don't need a press conference to do that. But when you want to talk to your team as well as your quarterback and give him confidence, you come out and say, he is our guy. He is the guy that we want. We're not going in any other direction, and we're going to move forward with him. Now, with those offseason workouts where the guys are looking for a quarterback to throw with, they're going to go find Jalen Hurts, go find that guy, because he's going to be the quarterback of our football team. So as the owner, this is exactly what you want to say. If you're going to say anything at all, this is exactly what you want to say, because you're giving confidence to not only your quarterback, but the guys around him on that football team as well.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.